say I'm fine when I'm not, I know I'm doing it. I've always known. Someone I hadn't seen in months walked into the coffee shop where I was sitting. We hugged. It was genuinely good to see them. "How are you?" they asked. 3 weeks of something I couldn't name sitting in my chest. "I'm fine," I said. "Really good, actually." I smiled when I said it. They smiled back. "That's great. You look good." The real answer was right there. I felt it. But I let fine go first. Not because I forgot what was true, because fine was easier. At work, my manager passed me in the hallway. "Everything okay?" I could have said, "Not really, actually. I've been tired in a way sleep doesn't fix." "Doing great, thanks." She nodded and kept walking. I sat back down at my desk. The truth was still there, waiting. It's always there. I just don't let it out. That night, my roommate looked up from the kitchen. "Rough day." Half a second. The thing I could say. The thing I won't. "Nah, I'm good." He smiled and went back to cooking. I do this on purpose. Not maliciously. Not even dishonestly exactly. I do it because the alternative, stopping, opening it up, letting someone see what's actually there, costs more than I want to spend in that moment. So I pay a different price. A quieter one. Here's what it feels like. You're carrying something, not heavy enough to collapse under, just heavy enough to notice. And someone asks if you need help, and you say no. Not because you're proud, not because you don't trust them, but because explaining it, handing it over, watching them try to hold it the way you've been holding it, that feels harder than just keeping it. So you keep it, and the cost isn't the weight. The cost is that every time you say, "I'm fine," you teach people to stop asking. Not because they don't care, because you've been so consistent. I saw that person from the coffee shop again a few weeks later. And they asked, "How are you?" I paused, just half a second, and they noticed. "What's up?" I could have opened it, right there. "I've been tired," I said. Not sure why, just tired. Not the whole thing, but not fine either. They didn't rush to the next topic. They just sat with that. It felt strange. Like the conversation had stopped trying to go somewhere and just stayed. I don't do that often, because most of the time, fine works. It keeps things moving. It protects people from having to respond to something they weren't prepared for. It protects me from watching them try. And I know what I'm trading. I'm trading the chance that someone might actually sit with it, for the certainty that no one will have to. At a party, someone asked how work was going. "Good. Busy. Nice. Mine too." We both knew, I think, that neither of us was really answering. But we also both knew the truth would have taken up time neither of us had budgeted for. Everyone at that party was fine. Everyone had somewhere to be after. The people around me built their picture of me from what I gave them. And what I gave them every time, reliably, without exception, was fine. So now they know me as the person who's always fine. And knowing that, they ask differently, lighter, faster. The kind of question that's really just a greeting. Not because they've given up, but because I taught them that's what I wanted. I did that. Not to them, to myself. There's a version of me that exists only in that half-second gap. The one between the question and the answer. The one that feels what's actually there before fine arrives to cover it. That version doesn't get much air. Not because it doesn't exist, because I've gotten very good at not letting it speak. I looked in the mirror one night. The person looking back was exactly as advertised. Composed. Together. Fine. I wondered what it would feel like to stop. To let the next person who asks really asks. Hear something other than the answer I've been giving for years. Not because I owe them the truth, but because I might owe it to myself. I don't know if I will. I just know the cost of not doing it. It's small, manageable, easy to carry, just heavy enough to notice.